Okay, guys, let's take a look at the chapter review for the test tomorrow. I'm sorry, test, not a quiz. First, I want you to evaluate. We have all these variable expressions, so let's go ahead and substitute in what they're giving us. First one is 4 plus m, so really it's 4 plus 9.7 because they're telling us m is 9.7. I'm going to do the work over here a little bit. When we add decimals, I know you should know this. I know you do. But you want to make sure you line up the decimal points. So 7 comes down. 13.7 is our answer for number 1. Number 2, 0.4 times a. So 0.4, what I'll be looking for is that you substitute in the variables. That's a key part of values for the variables. It's a key part of evaluating. So this one is 32 times 0.4. Here you do not need to line up the decimal points. Just make sure you count over one space, 12.8 is our answer for this one. Number 3, h minus 3. So first I'm going to substitute the 5.1 in for h because that's what they tell us. Minus 3. So again, 5.1 minus 3. Line up my decimal points. 1 minus 0 is 0. 5 minus 3 is 2. Oh, 1 minus 0 is not 0. That's not true. I'm thinking multiplying. 1 minus 0 is 1. 5 minus 3 is 2. You're going to get 2.1. There we go. That's more like it. All right, number 4. 60, that is divided by d. So 60 divided by 1.5 is my value for d. So 60 is going to be inside, 1.5 is outside. We cannot have a decimal outside, so we have to move this over one place and then correspondingly move one place over on the inside as well. So 15 goes into 60 4 times. 4 times 15 is 60 exactly, 0, 0. Because I brought that 0 down, 0, it all cancels. And my decimal point would come straight up here. So my final answer, when I substituted all of those values in, I get 40. On number 5, we'll move down here. M over 5 minus n. M is 4, so it's 4 over 5 minus n. N is 2/3. So when we're subtracting fractions, reviewing these rules, you need a common denominator. So a good common denominator here would be 15. 5 times 3, 4 times 3 is 12. Minus 3 times 5, 2 times 5 is 10. Subtract, I get 2/15. Number 6, 4/5 cubed. Really that means 4 over 5 times 4 over 5 times 4 over 5. So what we want to do here is 4 cubed, multiply straight across whenever you're working with fractions. 4 cubed is going to give me 64. And then 5 cubed, 5 times 5 is 25, times 5, that gives me 125. And if I go through my factors, I find out that that is as simplified as it can be. There's no further simplification that can be done. If ever there is, make sure you do it to make sure you simplify as far as the problem will allow. Number 7, a minus b to the 5th power. So a, I'm going to substitute in 8. B is 6 to the 5th. So really that's going to be 2 to the 5th. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32. Number 8, 4m plus n to the 3rd. That's really 4 times 7.1 plus 2 to the 3rd. 4 times 7.1, 7.1 times 4, 28. Bring my decimal point over, I get 28.4 plus 2 to the 3rd is 8. So whenever I go ahead and add these, I make sure my decimal points are lined up. And I get 36.4. All right, number 9, we're moving into order of operations. If it helps, I mean, we should be at this point pretty good with order of operations, but there's no harm in writing this down if you keep getting stuck at one point, and eventually make sure you work away from that. But going through parentheses don't have any. The only 2 operations we have are adding and dividing, so we're going to do these first. Dividing comes before the addition. 63 divided by 9 is 7, so really I have 16 plus 7. 16 plus 7 is 23. Okay? Number 10, 8 times 7 minus 42 divided by 6. We have multiplying going on, subtracting, and dividing. We're told in order of operations the multiplying and dividing happen at the same time, so we want to take whatever one comes first from left to right. So 8 times 7 is 56, 5, 6, 7, 8. 42 divided by 6 is 7, so then we keep that subtraction sign in there. 56 minus 7 is going to give me 49. Number 11, 24 plus 4 times 5 minus 19. Okay, so in this case, what I want to do is I want to first do my multiplying. So the 4 times 5, which is 20. So please show me your work, write out the steps. That's a 19. So that I know what it is that, the processes that you're following. Now we have addition and subtraction left. We're going to go from left to right. 24 plus 20 is 44. Minus 29, and then 44 minus 29 is going to be 15. Number 12, 4 plus 8 parentheses 12 minus 2 to the third. First we want to do what's in parentheses, so 4 plus 8. Now inside parentheses we restart our order of operations, so we're going to do the exponent. 2 to the third is 8. I continue to work within my parentheses, simplifying that to 4. Now I have a multiplication going on here. A lot of people like to do 4 plus 8 and get stuck, and that's wrong because the two operations are adding and multiplying. So we want to do the multiplying first, so we're going to get 4 plus 32, and then that gives us 36. Number 13, 4 plus 8 bracket parentheses 12 minus 2 to the third parentheses plus 12 close the bracket minus 16. The first area we're looking is within our parentheses, which are within the brackets. 12 minus 2 to the third. Well, actually, we just did that, but you would analyze and say, all right, 2 to the third first, which is 8. So this gives me 12 minus 8. I'm going to put all of the rest in. Got the parentheses. Now, 4 plus 8 is still outside of these brackets. I get 4 plus 9 remains inside brackets. I'm going to add that inside component. 4 plus 9 is 13. So now I have 4 plus 8 times 13 minus 16. We're going to want to multiply 8 times 13 because multiplying comes before any of the other operations given to us. I'm actually going to carry that right here. So 4 plus 8 times 13 minus 16. 8 times 13 is 104 minus 16. Then, or add from left to right. So this gives me 108 minus 16. 108 minus 16 is 92. Okay, number 14. Substitute 2 in for y, so I get 8 times 2 squared plus 4. Order of operations, I have to square this 2 first, so 8 times 4 plus 4. Then I multiply 8 times 4, which is 32, plus 4. Then I get another answer of 36. Number 15, 13x minus 5x squared when x is 2. So substituting in 2 for x, I'm going to go ahead and first do my exponent. 13 times 2 minus 5 times 4, because that 2 is being squared, only the 2. 13 times 2 is 26, minus 5 times 4 is 20. 26 minus 20 is 6. Moving on to 16, I'm going to substitute. I get 7 times the quantity 6 minus 4. All of that's divided by 3 times 6 plus 4. So inside parentheses, when you have dividing, you're going to think of your numerator as one problem and your denominator as another, and then at the very end, you want to divide. So it's almost as if there were another set of parentheses or a bracket around our numerator, a bracket around our denominator. So you have to do each of those separately and on their own. In the numerator, we have 6 minus 4 in parentheses, so it's going to give me 7 times 2, which is then 14, equals 14. Denominator, 3 times 6 is 18, so we have 18 plus 4, which is then 22. And 14 over 22 is going to simplify to 7/11. That one cut it close. Number 17, 14x minus 4x squared, x is 3, so 14 times 3 minus 4 times 3 squared, exponent first, 14 times 3 minus 4 times 9. And now I basically have multiplying here, subtracting here, multiplying here. I have to multiply first from left to right. Because these two multiplication problems do not interact at all, I can do those in the same step. 14 times 3 is 42, minus 4 times 9, which is 36. 42 minus 36 equals 6. Okay? So now let's move on. Those were a lot of the computation problems from the beginning of this chapter. Let's take a look at writing an expression, equation, or inequality for the following. 36 decreased by 5 times the number n. So 36 decreased by 5 means we're going to be subtracting 36 minus 5, and it says times the number n. So 36 minus 5n. 12 less than the quotient of y and 5. So when it says less than, that 12 is going to come at the end. 12 less than, the quotient of y and 5 means to divide, so it's y over 5. You can put that in parentheses. If you kind of write it diagonally like that, you should. So even though order of operations would still keep it the same. The quotient of y and 5, this is 12 less than that, so it matches. Number 20. The sum of the square of a number x and 9. So the sum of the square of a number x and 9. Sum means to add. Square of a number x is x squared. Number 21. 15 times the sum of a number x and 12. So 15 times, here they say the sum of, so we need to find the addition, the sum of something, and they say the number x and 12. And the reason that's in parentheses is because if we didn't, it would do order of operations 15 times x first. We don't want that. We want the sum first. And the last one, 22 on this page, the amount of money you earn per hour if you make $D in 6 hours. In this case, if they give you a scenario, maybe make something up, put something in. So they're asking us for the money we earn per hour, assuming you make $D per hour. So let's say we make $42 in 6 hours. What we want to think here is, how much do we make each hour? Well, if we made $42 total in 6 hours, then that means we made actually $7 per hour. So the way we found that was to take our total made, which they say here is $D, and divide it by 6, because 6 represents how many hours we worked. And that will then equal the amount of money we earn per hour. Not total, but per hour. So read this one carefully. Okie dokes. I'm going to stop here and then go on to the next page, so visit me with the next one. Thanks, guys.